Kyrie Irving's one of the most talented ball players that's ever appeared on the NBA stage. He's considered to be one of, if not the best ball handler in league history. Despite being an excellent scorer, amazing ball handler, lethal shooter, and even an above-average defender when he wants to, unfortunately for Kyrie, he's best known for his unpredictable mood swings and personality, to say it politely. Kyrie Irving's been an injury-prone player even before he entered the league, playing only 11 games for Duke in his freshman season. However, he's so talented that even with only 11 games in his college career, he was still picked number 1 by the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2011. With all the damage to his mental health due to the injuries and the tragic passing of his idol Kobe Bryant, Kyrie's often been a misunderstood and controversial figure in the public's eye. Let's see what some of his colleagues around the league think of him. Kyrie's first superstar teammate was the king himself, LeBron James. LeBron returned to Cleveland in 2014, and for the first time in his career, he had a superstar point guard on his squad. Kyrie and LeBron were an amazing duo during their time together, and despite having the hardest championship run in NBA history, it seemed that Kyrie was unhappy with his role as the second guy on the squad. Kyrie was traded to the Celtics in 2017, and that marked the end of an era in Cleveland. Even though their relationship ended too soon for some people, and on a rough note with some Kyrie Irving comments about LeBron and the Cavs, James still has a high opinion and huge respect for the talent and qualities of Irving. When Irving was traded, a video of a fan leaving a thank you note for Irving on top of his Cavs jersey went viral, and LeBron retweeted it, saying, "That's the only way to be to the kid. Special talent / guy. Nothing but respect." And what a ride it was our 3 years together. Since then, LeBron said on numerous occasions that he would want a reunion with Kyrie, stating that that's an obvious wish of his. Kevin Durant's been a longtime friend of Kyrie, and the two teamed up together in Brooklyn in 2019. Their time together wasn't nearly as successful as people expected, but they still gave us some amazing moments. Despite not finishing what they started and planned in Brooklyn, Kevin Durant still has a great amount of respect for Kyrie. Yeah, I was upset that we couldn't finish. I thought we would have had some good momentum. We were finally building the culture that we always wanted. I felt like every game we were building our chemistry. But I didn't know what was going on with Kyrie and his situation with the organization, so I didn't really focus on that. I only focused on what we were doing on the court. It was a blow to our team. It just took away our identity. He was a huge part of what we do. His game, he's a Hall of Fame player. A great player that can do everything on the floor. And we relied on that. So without him, we didn't have a clear identity. So that was tough for me to stomach. In the 2016 NBA Finals, Kyrie hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history that helped the Cavaliers win their first title in franchise history. With that shot, he proved himself as a big-time player that possessed the killer instinct like some of the all-time greats. He hit that shot over one of the best point guards in league history, Stephen Curry, who switched with Klay Thompson in a pick-and-roll between Kyrie and J.R. Smith. Klay Thompson, who's considered to be a premier defender in the NBA, still has a hard time reminiscing those moments. That's the biggest regret I have in my basketball career besides getting busted for the weed, in 2011 while in college, was switching that pick and roll with Steph with JR and Kyrie. I still can't bring myself to watch that footage, it's too uncomfortable. You watch yourself and you're like, I can't believe I just gave into that switch. Now Kyrie got one of the greatest shots in NBA history. Steph's a great defender too, but I'm just like, man, I can't believe I conceded to that switch. It still burns. On another occasion, Klay was asked on who's the toughest player to guard in the league. I can't tell you who's the hardest to guard, Thompson said. I'm happy I don't have to check Kyrie anymore though, that's for sure. That guy, he's tough. One thing's for sure, Kyrie's living inside the Warriors players' heads because of his performances against them, especially in the 2016 Finals. The newest duo in the NBA is the Mavericks pairing Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving together. Luka and Kyrie have been considered one of the toughest matchups for opposing defenders, so it'll be fun watching the two causing trouble on the floor together. Unlike many NBA stars, Luka doesn't have much of an ego and is not possessive at all, so it'll be interesting mixing his personality with Kyrie. Maybe this time pairing a superstar with Kyrie will work. Doncic was asked by NBA media if he was excited to hear that he's getting a new teammate. Yeah, Doncic said with a smile on his face. I just saw him today because before I was in Dallas, but it's great. You can see how good he is, so I think this should be really fun for us. We just gotta make it work, and I think we will. Kyrie's time with the Celtics was very productive for Boston and their future. Kyrie played a huge role as a mentor to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And even though they didn't cause much noise while playing together, Tatum and Brown developed into all-stars, even leading the Celtics to a finals run in 2021-22. Jason Tatum especially learned a lot from Kyrie. Obviously, we've talked, and there's some things that he probably would have done differently, but I think that's just a part of life. Nobody's perfect, and you just gotta move on from it as you get older. I learned a lot from him. Learned what to do, learned some things not to do. There doesn't seem to be any bad blood, despite what the media's tried to show us on numerous occasions. Jaylen Brown's also stated that he's learned a lot from Kyrie in their 2 years together, even though they were going at it often. It's been a lot of growth and interesting to follow. Being a teammate of Kyrie, we got into it a lot. We didn't see eye to eye a majority of the time he was here, and since then it seems like our relationship has improved. We've been able to have conversations, we've been able to talk to each other, we've been able to understand where he's coming from. Brown and Irving seem to have a great relationship nowadays, being appreciative and thankful for each other. Kevin Love was a part of the Cavs squad that won the 2016 NBA championship. Even though his role was smaller than the one he had in Minnesota, Love was still a huge part of the team's success. In a game between the Cavs and Nets in December 2022, Irving stupefied the crowd in Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse with one mastery after another. After the game, his ex-teammate Kevin Love said that he had flashbacks of those Kyrie Irving performances while he was a Cavalier. Seen that before. The shots he makes, you just have to sit there and say, not much you can do about that. It's been that way his whole career. That's why he's been such a special player in this league and continues to be. He later added that he thinks Kyrie's jersey should be retired by the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise. Absolutely, right away after his career ends. It's not even a question to me. He needs to be up there. He made the biggest shot in franchise history, and one of the most important shots in finals history when you consider how it all went down. What it meant for the city, what it meant for his legacy, LeBron's legacy, and everything else, including that Golden State team that became a dynasty and was historically great. Typically, this wouldn't even be a question, but as is the case with many Kyrie Irving conversations, this one's complicated as well. Draymond Green's another player that was part of the Golden State dynasty, and was one of the victims of Kyrie's big Game 7 shot in 2016. Whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny the fact that Draymond has been one of the best defenders in the league for almost a decade now. Draymond has always kept it 100, giving both praise and criticism where they're due. When asked about the recently happened trade between the Nets and Mavericks, Draymond said, "I don't love it. Reason I don't love it? That's very hard to stop. Very hard to stop." Kyrie Irving is one of the best scorers we've ever seen. One of the best, if not the best, ball handlers we've ever seen. Tough shot taker, tough shot maker. Kyrie Irving can also spot shoot. That's what makes it interesting. Everyone says Kyrie needs the ball, Luka needs the ball. That's true. But Kyrie can actually spot shoot. Luka, as we now, finding you. So I don't love it from that standpoint. No, I don't love the trade. I don't love it because that's going to be tough to guard. Trae Young is one of the most polarizing young NBA stars. A lights-out shooter, great passer, and shifty dribbler, Trae Young can often remind us of a young Kyrie Irving in his Cleveland Cavaliers days. Trae has said on numerous occasions that Kyrie's played a big role in the development of his game, and that he has a huge respect for his talents. After a game between the Nets and the Hawks, the two shared a hug and some words. The video of them doing so made its way to Twitter, and Trae retweeted it, adding how much he respects Kyrie. Some don't even understand the type of dude he is. Real ones do. Like Trae, Ja Morant is another young star guard with a flashy playstyle. While Ja is a tremendous talent, a fierce competitor, and someone who would never accept his starstruck moments, he admitted that he was just that when he first blocked Kyrie. Ja didn't just get a block on Kyrie, but also his then career-high game, scoring 30 points in a win. My first starstruck moment was that Kyrie matchup. Before the tip-off, when the ref gives you the ball for you to get a feel for it, normally I just dribble it once and pass it back. And I see him grabbing the ball and just doing hell of crossovers. And I was like, goddamn, alright, this is my matchup. And then we won and I had my first 30-point game. I blocked him to send it to overtime. When I blocked the shot, I didn't even look for the ball. Even though we could have gotten the ball, maybe called a timeout and ran a play. I was just like, oh shit. This is definitely a moment that Ja's going to remember for a long time. So even though Kyrie can be highly controversial sometimes, and even toxic for the team's locker room, NBA players still have a high level of respect for his talents. Kyrie's definitely one of the most talented players in the league, and let's just hope he keeps his mind on basketball more. With his injury history, and the fact that he's getting older, it's not certain how much basketball he has in him.